Hello everyone and welcome to my The Young and the Restless channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before we begin, please hit the subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up. The Young and the Restless recap for Tuesday, February 24th reveals that the judge over Matt Clark's case will make a disturbing decision. Nate Hastings and Victoria Newman will also share a passionate moment while Phyllis Summers hurls sabotage accusations. At Society, Nate will speak with Devon Winters over the phone. Devon will be on edge since they still haven't heard from Lily Winters, Matty Ashby and Charlie Ashby. Victoria will join Nate for a drink soon after and admit she wants to be the one to put Newman Enterprises back in Victor Newman's hands. Since prodigal son Adam Newman has become Victor's confidant, Victoria will want to reclaim her position as her father's right-hand woman. Nate will suggest a contingency plan in case Victoria doesn't get what she wants, and will urge her to see that she'll be fine regardless. After Nate admits he cares about Victoria and her future, he'll pull her into a kiss outside. At Crimson Lights, Tessa Porter will convince Daniel Romalotti Jr. to distract her from the whole Mariah Copeland situation with some guitar playing. However, Phyllis Summers will come barging in and insist she'll never forgive Daniel for turning Summer Newman against her. There'll be some talk about how Summer wouldn't even open the door to Phyllis in Milan. Daniel will argue that Phyllis only has herself to blame, but she'll accuse Daniel and Nick Newman of filling Summer's heads with their narrative. Daniel will deny sabotaging anything, but Phyllis will act like Summer would be celebrating her win if it weren't for Daniel and Nick's meddling. When Daniel brings up Lily and her kids getting kidnapped because of Phyllis's actions, she'll refuse to take responsibility for that and insist Kane Ashby's family is fine. After Daniel declares that he's done with Phyllis, she'll wonder if he's really shutting her out of his life forever and will point out that forever is a long time. In the end, Daniel will stomp off with Tessa while Phyllis has a tense encounter with Sharon Newman. At the GCSE on Tuesday's Y&R episode, Jack Abbott will taunt Victor Newman over his forced retirement before joining Diane Jenkins Abbott at the bar. Nikki Newman will sit with Victor at a nearby table and grill him about his mysterious trip. Victor will hint about giving Kane Ashby some incentives and assure Nikki that Lily's been apprised of the latest developments. After Victor works to convince Nikki that they're going to get the Newman Empire back, they'll share a toast. Diane will worry as she watches with Jack, but he'll think Victor's just putting on a show and that things are still dire. While Jack's on a phone call, Diane will follow Nikki into the ladies' room and make it clear that it's a good idea to stay away from her husband. Nikki will argue that's not going to happen because she has a special bond with Jack, but Diane will be sick of her playing damsel in distress. Of course, Nikki won't think she's doing that and will accuse Diane of being threatened by her relationship with Jack. After Victor gets an unsettling call, his demeanor will change as he heads for the door with Nikki. Jack will assume Victor got bad news about the company, so he'll gloat to Diane about the facade already crumbling. At the Newman Ranch, Nick will be there waiting for Victor and Nikki when they return home. It'll be revealed that the judge over Matt's case threw it out due to the detective involved being compromised. The Young and the Restless spoilers say Victor will confirm that Matt's free, so this will kick off Nick's mission to bring him down by any means necessary. The night settles over Genoa City like a slow, uneasy breath, one of those evenings where the air feels heavy with secrets and every conversation carries the promise of consequences. At Society, Nate Hastings paces near the window, his phone pressed tightly to his ear. The soft glow of the restaurant lights reflects off his tense expression as he listens to Devon Winters on the other end of the line. Devon's voice is tight with worry. Lily, Matty and Charlie still haven't checked in. No calls, no messages, nothing but silence. That silence hangs between them like a storm cloud. Nate reassures Devon as best he can, but even he can hear the strain in his own voice. Every second without news feels like a ticking clock, counting down to something no one wants to face. When the call ends, Nate stares at the dark screen of his phone, knowing that fear has already begun to creep in. Moments later, Victoria Newman joins him, slipping into the seat across from him with a determined spark in her eyes. She orders a drink but barely touches it. Her thoughts are elsewhere, focused squarely on her father and the future of Newman Enterprises. I want to be the one who puts the company back into my father's hands, she admits, her voice low but resolute. There's history in her words, pride, rivalry, a hunger to reclaim her place. With Adam now positioned as Victor Newman's trusted confidant, Victoria feels herself being pushed aside, her legacy slipping through her fingers. She's not willing to let that happen, not now, not ever. Nate listens carefully, then gently offers her a contingency plan, something to hold on to if things don't go the way she hopes. He reminds her that she's strong, capable, and destined for success, no matter how this power struggle ends. And then, quietly, he says the words that change the moment. He tells her he cares about her future. The noise of the city fades as emotion takes center stage. Victoria's eyes soften. For a heartbeat, neither of them moves. Then Nate steps closer, and outside beneath the cool night air, he pulls her into a kiss. Slow, passionate, and charged with everything they haven't said out loud. For a brief moment, the chaos of their lives disappears. Across town at Crimson Lights, music drifts softly through the cafe as Tessa Porter hands Daniel Romalotti Jr. a guitar. She's trying to distract him from the pain surrounding Mariah Copeland to give him something lighter to hold on to. Daniel strums a few chords, and for just a second, the world feels almost normal. Then the door flies open. Phyllis Summers storms in like a thunderclap, her fury impossible to ignore. Her eyes lock onto Daniel and the music dies in the air. She wastes no time. She tells him she will never forgive him for turning Summer Newman against her. The words hit like knives. Phyllis rants about Milan, about how Summer wouldn't even open the door for her, how her own daughter shut her out completely. Daniel fires back that Phyllis has no one to blame but herself, but Phyllis refuses to hear it. She accuses Daniel and Nick Newman of poisoning Summer's mind with their version of events, twisting the truth until Summer couldn't see her mother anymore. Daniel denies sabotaging anything, but Phyllis won't let go. She insists that if it weren't for Daniel and Nick's interference, Summer would be celebrating her victory right now instead of keeping her distance. Then Daniel brings up the kidnapping, Lily and her children being taken because of Phyllis's reckless choices. That's when Phyllis snaps. She refuses responsibility, says Kane Ashby's family is fine, says she did nothing wrong. The room fills with tension so thick it's almost unbearable. Finally, Daniel declares he's done fighting, done trying, done with Phyllis. His words cut deeper than any accusation ever could. Phyllis stares at him, shaken, asking if he's really shutting her out of his life forever. She reminds him that forever is a very long time. But Daniel doesn't answer. He walks out with Tessa, leaving Phyllis alone with her anger, her regret, and a painful encounter waiting with Sharon Newman, one that crackles with unresolved history and quiet hostility. Meanwhile, at the GCAC, the battle between titans unfolds. Jack Abbott greets Victor Newman with thinly veiled amusement, taunting him over his forced retirement before heading to the bar with Diane Jenkins Abbott. Nearby, Nikki Newman sits with Victor, her gaze sharp as she presses him about his mysterious trip. Victor is vague. He hints that he's given Kane Ashby certain incentives and assures Nikki that Lily has been informed of the latest developments. Then, with that familiar fire in his eyes, he promises her that they will get the Newman empire back. They raise their glasses in a toast, an image of confidence and unity. But Diane watches from afar, worry etched across her face. Jack brushes it off, convinced Victor is only putting on a show, insisting the situation is still dire beneath the surface. When Jack steps away to take a phone call, Diane follows Nikki into the ladies' room. The walls echo with tension as Diane makes it clear, staying close to Jack is not a good idea. Nikki pushes back, saying she and Jack share a special bond. Diane snaps that she's tired of Nikki playing the damsel in distress. Nikki denies it and instead accuses Diane of being threatened by her relationship with Jack. The confrontation is sharp, personal, and unresolved. Then Victor's phone rings. His face changes instantly. The confidence drains from his eyes as he rushes out with Nikki at his side. Jack watches them go and smirks, assuming Victor has just received bad news about the company. He boasts to Diane that the facade is already cracking. But the truth is far more disturbing. At the Newman Ranch, Nick waits as Victor and Nikki return home. The air is thick with dread as Victor delivers the news. The judge in Matt Clark's case has thrown it out. The detective involved was compromised. Matt Clark is free. The words land like a gunshot. Nick's face hardens, fury blazing in his eyes. This isn't just a legal failure, it's a personal one. A man he believes should pay for his crimes is now walking free, protected by corruption and loopholes. Victor confirms it quietly. There's no victory in his voice this time. Only tension and calculation, and in that moment something ignites inside Nick. A mission, a vow. If the law won't bring Matt down, Nick will, by any means necessary. As the night closes over Genoa City, alliances shift, hearts break, and danger rises. Passion collides with betrayal. Old wounds reopen, and a single court decision sets a dark new path in motion, one that promises revenge, reckoning, and consequences no one is ready for. Because in this city, freedom is never the end of the story. It's only the beginning of the war. The silence inside the Newman Ranch stretches long and suffocating after Victor's revelation. Matt Clark is free. For a moment, no one speaks. Nick stands frozen near the doorway, his fists clenched so tightly his knuckles burn white. The words echo in his mind again and again, louder than the ticking of the clock on the wall. Free, after everything, after all the damage, all the lies, all the pain left in his wake. This isn't justice, Nick finally says, his voice trembling with fury. This is a failure. Victor watches his son carefully, knowing that look in Nick's eyes all too well. It's the look of a man who feels powerless and is about to become dangerous. The judge ruled the case compromised, Victor explains grimly. The detective was tainted. The whole thing collapsed. Nikki presses a hand to her mouth, shaken. So that's it? He just walks away? Victor doesn't answer right away. He turns toward the fireplace, staring into the flames as if searching for a strategy inside the fire. It's not over, he says quietly. Not by a long shot, but Nick has already crossed a line in his mind. He steps forward, voice low and unyielding. If the system won't stop him, I will. Nikki spins toward him. Nick, don't say that. I mean it, he replies, eyes blazing. I'm done waiting for courts and judges. Matt Clark doesn't get to ruin lives and walk free. Not on my watch. Victor sees both danger and determination in his son's stance. Part of him is proud. Another part knows this path leads somewhere dark. Outside, thunder rumbles faintly in the distance, as if the city itself senses what's coming. Across town, Phyllis Summers sits alone at Crimson Lights, staring into a cup of coffee she hasn't touched. Daniel's words still ring in her ears. I'm done with you. Forever is a long time. She replayed that moment over and over. The way he walked out without looking back, the way Tessa followed him, the way the door closed behind them like the final note of a broken song. For the first time in a long time, Phyllis feels something she doesn't know how to fight. Fear. Sharon Newman approaches quietly, her expression guarded but sympathetic. The tension between them is thick, layered with years of history and unspoken resentment. You look like you just lost something, Sharon says softly. Phyllis lets out a bitter laugh. I lost my daughter. I lost my son. And now I'm supposed to pretend I'm fine. Sharon hesitates, choosing her words carefully. Pushing people away doesn't protect you, Phyllis. It just leaves you alone. Phyllis's eyes flash. Oh, spare me the therapy talk. But even as she snaps, her voice cracks. Sharon notices. For a fleeting moment, the war between them fades, replaced by two women who have both lost too much to pride and anger. Still, neither is ready to lay down their weapons. Phyllis rises abruptly. Enjoy your moral high ground, Sharon. I'll be busy fighting for what's mine. She storms out into the night, the door slamming behind her like punctuation on a vow she hasn't fully formed yet but will. Back at Society, Victoria and Nate linger outside beneath the glow of streetlights. The kiss they shared still hangs in the air between them, charged with promise and uncertainty. Victoria exhales slowly. I don't usually let myself want things like this. Nate smiles faintly. Maybe it's time you did. But Victoria's gaze drifts toward the skyline, toward Newman Enterprises, toward the battle waiting for her at dawn. Adam has father's ear now, I can feel it, and I refuse to be sidelined. Nate steps closer, steady and supportive. Then don't be, but don't let this fight define you. She meets his eyes. It already has. They stand in silence for a moment, two ambitious hearts caught between love and power. When Victoria finally walks away, her posture is strong, but her expression is conflicted. Nate watches her go, knowing that caring for someone in the Newman family never comes without consequences. At the GCAC, Jack and Diane sit at the bar long after Victor and Nikki have left. You really think he's bluffing? Diane asks. Jack smirks. Victor Newman doesn't crumble in public unless he wants people to think he's winning. Diane isn't convinced. Something felt wrong. Jack raises his glass. Let him scramble. For once, it's not us. But unease lingers behind Diane's eyes. She's learned that when Victor goes quiet, the storm is only beginning. And back at the Newman ranch, Nick stands alone on the terrace, staring into the darkness beyond the gates. The world feels different now, more dangerous, more personal. Matt Clark is out there free. Nick grips the railing, his jaw set with grim resolve. This isn't over, he whispers into the night. Inside the house, Victor watches him through the glass, his face unreadable. He knows this mission Nick has set for himself could destroy everything or save them all. The line between justice and revenge has blurred. And as Genoa City drifts toward morning, one truth becomes painfully clear. A judge's decision has unleashed something far more powerful than a verdict. It has awakened a war,